And do you want to tell us why APM's investing in forum and social media?
Sure, we see the model slightly change for professional bodies in terms of where information is coming from and how it's disseminated, and really we need to provide a service to our members to get the up-to-date information to them in a reliable format. So we see the need to actually get online where a lot of our members are already and be talking to them.
So I thought it'd be really interesting to start off by discussing what is social networking, because it's a widely used term. It could mean anything, different things to different people. Anyone got any views?
I have a view.
Go on then.
I think social networking, you're right, social media in a term does mean different things to different people, and for me social networking is a subset of social media, and it's the networking side of things is where you use online technology to connect with other people. So things like LinkedIn, things like the APM's communities, or in a more public spectre that's not so much used for business, Facebook. Whereas social media is a wider term that encompasses other types of tools, so things like Twitter, blogs, wikis.
So you've got two definitions, have you?
I think it's,
So
yes, I think social networking is a very specific thing.
Okay. Okay.
That's interesting. For me, social media is okay. There's a number of different kind of tools of which you can use, but I think the end game for me is it's the tools that allow you to network, meet other project managers, but also share knowledge and various links to bits of information that you wouldn't normally find, which in turn allows people to develop themselves.
Yeah.
And it also contributes to things like CPDs.
I've got yes. And I think that's clear though, isn't it? Because learning through social networking and blogs is very interesting, because Elizabeth writes some really good, interesting pieces that make you think about your project management, and some good debates going on the APM website around what's the value of training and how do you control projects, and
I think when we've got a session of people who cut back on training,
yes.
then some of the things like podcast listening to things like this, some of the extra stuff that training providers like you are offering, it's another way that people can get learning.
Yes.
Where they don't have to necessarily attend a 5-day Prince2 course.
Yeah.
I think what we're talking about here is online social media rather than social media as a whole. You've got lots of tools already that enable communication between groups of people, teams. You've got the telephone, you've got the meeting room. What we've really got with online social media is another tool to facilitate discussions. So today I see we're talking about online social media specifically, but it's important to remember it as part of a toolbox, as it were. It's another tool that we can use.
So,
I think it'd be really good to just understand what those tools are.
Yes.
And for me, the tools that I suppose I actively use are things like the blog, Twitter, Facebook and LinkedIn. Those are the things that I use, both personally and also for business reasons.
Because people use wikis, which is an online web page that anybody can edit for document sharing, document collaboration, updating pieces of information that everybody will want to have an input into, but also for things like lessons learned databases.
yes.
And so wikis can be made secure, they're not public.
Yes, if you think about Wikipedia, that's probably the most public example, the largest one that I can think of. But you can have something just for your company or just for your project team, and you can really button down the security to make sure that if you are sharing information about your project and it's commercially sensitive, that nobody else can see it.
Okay.
So it's private to your business.
Yes, and I think, to be honest, in a business environment, most of these social media tools have to be adopted behind the firewall, because so much of what we do with projects is commercially sensitive. And while learning and recruitment activity and sharing information and networking you can do in a public space, if you're using social media tools to help you manage a project or to communicate with your team, you don't necessarily want the world and his wife to overhearing that. And while we as project managers may have been doing paper documents and circulating them around the business and having people actually physically sign things off not that long ago, now everything's on email, and in 5 years' time there will be a different way of working. And this kind of networking and online communication that maybe the millennial generation are bringing to the workplace is something that we either adopt at our own pace or it's going to be forced upon us later on. And I think the project manager should be at the forefront of adopting new techniques.
But we've always used shared document stores and and things like that for managing documents.
That's the information sharing.
Yes, that's right.
What we're talking about here
It's
is
the
that
social part
it's,
of
well,
it.
it's the, well, we always say, we all know that project management, the most important part is communication.
Yes.
So, you know, there's certain tools that are available, and just another way to help you communicate in your project, because your project, for example, is going to have different audiences. You know, for example, if you've got a project that's a public sector, you're delivering a project to a community,
Yes.
the public,
Yes.
actually using things like blogs or Facebook pages or that kind of thing allows you to connect with some of your major stakeholders,
Oh,
i.e.
I
the
can see
public.
that. Okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
So if you were as part of a PR publicity campaign consultation, then
Well, a blog could become
Just
a
another
product
way.
or a deliverable, couldn't it?
Yes,
As part
yes,
of the project. It's
yes.
another way to
it's a
look at it.
stakeholder management tool.
Yeah, so it's not just about communications between the PM and the team,
Yes.
but between the project and its stakeholders.